You're stepping back into the Wild West. Think shootouts, outlaws, and dusty streets. But what if I told you there's a place where all that chaos came to rot behind bars? Where notorious criminals didn't just serve time, they became legends. What made this prison so infamous? Stick around to find out. It might not be what you think. Nestled in the blazing Arizona desert, the Yuma Territorial Prison wasn't your average jailhouse. Opened in 1876, it became a symbol of justice, or torment, depending on who you asked. For nearly 33 years, this prison held over 3,000 inmates, from petty thieves to Wild West icons. But this wasn't just a holding cell for criminals. Oh no, it had a reputation for being a brutal, inescapable fortress. With its scorching heat, ironclad cells, and punishments that would make you shudder, Yuma became more than a prison. It became a legend. The stories locked behind its walls are enough to make you question who the real villains were, the outlaws or the ones who locked them away. The Yuma Territorial Prison, a grim fortress in the unforgiving Arizona desert, was not just a place of confinement, it was a crucible of human endurance. The scorching heat of the desert relentlessly seeped through every brick and iron bar, making the already harsh conditions of the prison nearly unbearable. The cells, designed for minimal comfort, were often overcrowded, with prisoners packed into cramped spaces meant for only a few. These tiny, suffocating cells were a daily reminder of the desolation that surrounded them. But it was the infamous dark cell that turned the prison into a place of nightmares. Getting sentenced to this place was like winning the world's worst raffle. Some punishments included total darkness, no sense of time, no light, and absolutely no escape. Welcome to the ultimate vacation package for anyone who loves losing their sanity. The silence was so intense you could practically hear your own thoughts plotting against you. This wasn't just a prison, it was a psychological funhouse where punishment got a twisted makeover. The real challenge? Seeing how long your mind could hold up before it decided to throw in the towel. Add in the desert heat, the overcrowding, and the looming threat of that infamous isolation chamber, and you had a recipe designed to crush even the toughest troublemakers. Yuma wasn't just a prison, it was a chaotic experiment in how fast a human spirit could hit its breaking point. It's literally an abyss. The psychological toll was undeniable, with many prisoners losing their sanity under the oppressive conditions. It was here, in the suffocating heat and suffocating darkness, that the prison's true horror lay. The question remained, how could even the hardest of criminals survive a place where not just the body, but the very spirit was slowly crushed? Let's uncover the stories of Yuma's most notorious inmates, where reality blurs with the gritty lore of the Old West. Buckskin Frank Leslie was no ordinary gunslinger. His fiery temper and sharp wit made him as dangerous with words as he was with a revolver. Before his capture, Leslie worked as a bartender, a role that quickly turned bloody when he gunned down 2 men in cold blood. Behind bars, he didn't fade into obscurity. His bold defiance and cutting remarks earned him infamy among both guards and prisoners, solidifying his status as one of Yuma's most unforgettable figures. But his story is just one thread in the fabric of this prison's eerie history. And then there was Three-Finger Jack Dunlop, the train robber who turned a shootout mishap into a branding opportunity. Missing 2 fingers but not an ounce of nerve, Jack showed the world that even a partial hand can deal a full deck of trouble. His career as an outlaw was as short as his grip, ending in Yuma's iron clutches. But with bold heists and fearless antics, Jack made sure his legend stuck around longer than his fingers did. On July 1st, 1876, the Yuma Territorial Prison opened its doors to its first 7 guests. Among them was Maria Moreno, one of only 29 women ever sentenced to Yuma, and Maria Morano, a master escape artist who turned slipping past prison guards into a personal hobby. She smuggled in tools hidden in everyday objects and crafted escape plans so clever they could outshine a Hollywood heist movie. But why was she there in the first place? Well, let's just say a dance move disagreement with her brother escalated to gunfire. Apparently, dance like no one's watching wasn't her brother's motto. Maria and her fellow outlaws transformed the Yuma Prison into a stage for rebellion, where desperation collided with brilliance in a relentless pursuit of freedom. One of the most infamous women to do time there was Pearl Hart, a stagecoach robber with a flair for drama and a knack for bending the rules. During her trial, she spun a heartfelt tale about needing money to visit her sick mom, leaving the jury so moved they found her not guilty. Judge Doan, however, wasn't buying it and gave the jurors a good scolding for slacking on their civic duty. Pearl didn't stay out of trouble for long. She was soon rearrested for tampering with U.S. mail, because why rob stagecoaches when you can mess with the federal government? Known for using her feminine wiles to charm guards and inmates alike, Pearl had a rebellious streak that made her legendary. She even disguised herself as a man to pull off her heists, proving she could outwit the law and societal expectations in one fell swoop. Pearl didn't just break the law, she shattered stereotypes, becoming a symbol of defiance and a walking headache for law enforcement everywhere. Here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. Yuma Territorial Prison, despite its reputation for cruelty and unbearable desert conditions, was shockingly ahead of its time in certain ways. This was no ramshackle dungeon. It boasted features that many of its contemporaries lacked. The prison was equipped with electricity, a marvel for the late 1800s, and a forced ventilation system that provided some relief from the searing Arizona heat. But perhaps the most surprising aspect was its library, stocked with over 2,000 books, from dime novels to the works of Shakespeare. Yes, in a place where men and women faced daily torment, there was also access to learning and literature, offering an unusual glimpse of humanity amidst harshness. Yet this duality is where the suspense lies. Some prisoners used the library to better themselves, while others meticulously plotted their escape in the shadows of the same walls. The prison's progressive features clashed dramatically with its brutal punishments, like the dreaded dark cell, which was nothing short of psychological warfare. Was this contrast a deliberate attempt to reform inmates, or was it an ironic twist of fate? The very walls of Yuma seemed to whisper conflicting stories, justice or torment, progress or punishment, leaving us to wonder which side truly prevailed. They were also way ahead of their time when it came to healthcare. Well, for a prison anyway. Doctors came and went faster than a jailhouse escape plan. Most couldn't handle the charm of prison life for more than a year, but then along came Dr. Cotter, who stuck it out from 1893 to 1896 and set up the first ever prison hospital, making him the Florence Nightingale of the chain gang. Before Dr. Cotter's time, healthcare was basically a DIY project in a supply closet. For its day, the infamous Yuma Hotel, prison, was considered downright progressive in healthcare, though that's a pretty low bar. Most jails back then just called the local doc for anything short of an amputation. Comparing 19th century prison healthcare to modern standards is like putting a matchstick up against a lighthouse. The Yuma Territorial Prison may have closed in 1909, but its walls still echo with stories of rebellion, survival, and redemption. The legends of Buckskin Frank, Three Finger Jack, Pearl Hart, and Maria Morano remind us that history isn't just about dates and facts, it's about people who lived, fought, and endured. But here's the thing, this prison holds more secrets than any outlaw could ever dream of. Now that you've scratched the surface of Yuma Territorial Prison's notorious history, it's your turn to dig deeper. Which story intrigues you the most? Could there be more unsung heroes or villains hidden in its dusty records? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if you've got a favorite Wild West legend, let us know. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, stay curious, stay adventurous, and keep exploring the untamed corners of history.